Clarke, can you please tell us what this buzzword cybersecurity is all about? What is cybersecurity?
Cybersecurity is a word that was coined to actually speak to um, the security, the digital security in terms of the internet. When you're in cyberspace, where ones and zeros rule uh, the internet, because of course data packets and packages, they um, thrive, they communicate using ones and zeros, so that's a space. So security is combining physical security with digital security. So within a cyberspace, it was coined back in 1988 by an academician when he first talked talked about cyber security, the internet, the explosion of the internet. Back in those days, we had, I think, four computers. No, it had gone to eight computers, eight nodes. So he was talking about, he propounded that about almost 30, 36, 37 years ago. So is the inclusion, the deployment of security concept, physical security concept within the digital space.
Awesome, awesome. So before we start hearing everything about cybersecurity, we used to hear about information technology. So can you tell us the difference between information technology and information security?
Yes, information technology is an overarching term that looks at both hardware and software that enable businesses to function. That is, we have the networking portion of it and the software that actually drive the communication and the transport of data over the internet. And we're talking about, that was information security. The second one, what was the second question again?
So information technology.
Information technology is the use of uh, the internet technology, both computer and um, the software to drive it. And information security is the securing of data and information to make sure that users uh, data and information are secure, they maintain the confidentiality, the integrity, and of course it is accessible to those who are um, vetted or allow we talk about, when you are validated, you have been vetted, you have been granted access to it to use it. So we talk about availability, we talk about the integrity, and of course the security portion is confidentiality, that all talks about information security, making sure wherever the data or the information reside, that particular area is secure, is safe, is avoid of prying eyes. That is from threat actors, the one we call hackers.
Mhm. Thank you, Mr. Clark. Um, so, of course, we know there a lot that's been going on in the cybersecurity world. Can you tell us about some of the challenges, some of the risks, what's going on in the space recently?
Right now, we need to be cautious. We need to be worried when it comes to, when we think about cybersecurity. Everyone is vulnerable. You wake up this morning, you will hear some news about somebody, some system, some company, network, or there is some kind of data breach somewhere. So is the new buzzword, and we were not prepared for it. When the internet was invented back in 1969 by the U.S. military, the U.S. Department of Defense, defense. The internet actually started in the 1950s through the U.S. ARPANET project. The first network that communicated was back in 1952 in Hawaii. It was called the Aloha Network. Packet, two computers were successful to exchanging data, that is packet, from one to another. So that evolved to ARPANET. ARPANET then evolved to the internet back in 1969. The internet has been around within the military space for a long time. The reason the internet was invented by the U.S. military during the Cold War, it was because the U.S. government feared that the Russians would have launched a nuclear weapon, a nuclear bomb on Washington, on America, and that would have destroyed all the communication systems in the country. So to counter strike the Russians, they had to develop an internal interconnected network that will reorganize their communication capability to strike, to send their own bomb to destroy the Russians if that happened. So it had been around since 1969, but there were fewer computers on that network. It evolved over the time to maybe four computer, they start computers, I mean locations. It was UC Berkeley, it was Harvard, it was Stanford, and another university, I think UCLA. So they were there, the U.S. government secret mission. They evolved it when it looked. Well, after a while, it went to 1,000 computers. Then it ballooned. Once the U.S. government decided, the military decided they didn't need it anymore, they had to bring it into the civilian space back in 1988, 1989. The internet actually started back in 1989. By 1990, everybody started going on the internet and the whole cyberspace um, came about.
Wow, 1989. It has been that long. My goodness. Wow. Hmm. So, still on, the overview of cybersecurity, with machine learning and AI, what are some concerns there? What should we be concerned about in the cybersecurity space?
We have to be very worried when it comes to the AI, machine learning, the artificial intelligence. That's what AI stands for, because it's going to be used either for good or for bad. AI needs to be actually contained or regulated. This genie has come out of the bottle. We cannot put it back. So even the chairman of ChatGPT last year, he was on Capitol Hill. He asked the U.S. government to help to regulate AI. With AI, even those of us that are in the classroom in academia, we are facing problem with students. You gave them programming assignment.
Hmm.
They will go and use the same question that you gave them, and they will give you the answer, and the answer is 99.99% accurate.
Wow.
Yes. So we got to be in terms of security. It's like talking to some expert, because AI, what people need to understand, is not internet facing. These companies, the algorithm that drives the application on the AI and the artificial intelligence portion of it, it goes and index the entire internet. It makes copy of the internet. So everything that is on the internet, it copies it, whatever it is published. So it gets all of these bits and pieces of information and puts it together. Whenever you ask a question, it will give you answer maybe 90% to 99% um, accuracy rate. So we got to be worried. But for the security, cybersecurity, it also a concern to us in that space, because the threat actors can also ask the machine, because it's part of machine learning.
Mhm.
It's going to ask the machine, how do you hack, whatever it is, and it would give. How do you do this? It would give that threat actor or that hacker um, a 99.5 or 99.9% um, accuracy at rate, the accurate answer to that. But now they are trying to create a guardrail wherein the uh, the answer to some of those questions, there are certain limitations. There are something we call exception would be thrown. When you say, how do you um, attack, how do you hack the executive mansion website in Liberia? It would throw an exception and tell you, it will tell you that, well, no, that we can, that is not within our reach. We cannot provide answer for that.
Yeah. Awesome, awesome. You're talking about AI and in academic, it reminded me of my school. So I think they realized that it can, like you were saying, AI is bigger than the university. And so they encourage you to use AI, but two things, they ask you to cite it, and there has to be, I think, a 20%, something rate or something about
Mhm.
rate to be like 20.
That percent, that percentile.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
20%, because you don't know you're gonna use it anyway. So I guess they just tell you to
Yeah.
just use it to responsibly and in a small amount of that's it's
Yeah, but
thing.
like me, I've been in the classroom since the early 2000, over 20 years now. And when I would give computer programming, even Python code questions to the students. When they spit it out to me, there was no way I would challenge them. They either did it or they didn't do it. Even some paper, research paper on this, they would give you 100% answer. So I look at that. So I just got tired because my background coming out of Africa to the
Mhm,
United States, actually when I was in Liberia at the Universal Library, I was trying to be, I'm trying to go to medical school, AM Doctoralty, to become a
mhm,
medical doctor. But when I came here, the wars in
mhm,
Liberia have impacted my journey. So I just went into a technology computer. That's a, but with the evolution of that um, artificial intelligence, it changed everything for me. So I look at that 2023. I partially hung up my jersey, my academic coat, to move into something else because to me, in Liberia, you work hard for everything. You had to study. There is no shortcut for us to learn it. You had to open the book, you had to read the book. When I was doing, you see, my PhD research area was on genetic algorithm and artificial neural network. So it's research. It's part of biomimicry. Is to make the computer to behave like a human being, like maybe a 4 year old. The brain of a 4 year old is highly developed.
mhm.
So for a computer to behave like that organism, that was biomimicry is about, to mimic of something within biology, within that has life. So um when AI just went, because my what I propounded in my research was that the system technology will self-destruct. Of course AI will self-destruct, but my prediction was within the next 150 years everything will come down. Will society will self-destruct and society will go back to rebuild itself on archaic tool. That's what technology would do, and it's the truth. But with the fast pace at which AI is evolving and taking hold, to me it's not going to be 150 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It's go
thinking. I hear you. I'm just like Mr. Clark. I think that's gonna be sooner.
Yes, it's that's the scary part about it.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing. We have to put certain guardrail in place to see if we can curtail. the destructive power of, I mean, it's not just AI is not destructive. It can be used as a force for good. But again, they have threat actors. They have people, in my cybersecurity training, when I train people, I always told them that the good guy will, in one day or another, he might turn bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave them all of these tools that the hackers are using, and the disclaimer is you have to use it for good, not for bad. But again, many of them would go in the dark web to compromise systems and applications all over the world.
Scary. We can talk about AI and not bring about the cloud. The dangers of the cloud. What are you using it for, personal or work? So let's talk. Give us some insight into what should we be worried about as far as cybersecurity with the use of the cloud.
The cloud space is evolving. Cloud has been around since when Amazon started back in 2000, let's say 2003, 2004. It was used to as a repository for uh, data and information, but we didn't know that the cloud would take over. The cloud is also susceptible to being hacked. It's not 100% safe. When Bill Gates back in 1998, he was, I mean, I love Bill Gates. He was one of those guys that got me into technology. I started doing MS-DOS back in 1989 at a little computer place on Camp Johnson, right opposite. They used to have typewriter there. The guy had a computer with MS-DOS. I started with the DOS. So, but he propounded that. He said 10 or 20 years from now, he was talking back in 1998. He said, if cable television providers, content providers, if they do not migrate to the to the internet, they don't take advantage of the internet, they're going to go out of business.
Mm,
And of course, right now we have streaming services, and they have to morph. Now the cloud is evolving. We have public cloud, then we have private cloud. There are two different types of cloud. We have hybrid cloud and we have community cloud. One way or the other, the cloud is here to stay. It's just using another person's computer to enable you to do your work. You don't have to have the computing power. All you do is to rent a space on the application you're running, the server you're running, and all of those powers that you need to get your job done. And of course, the cloud is going to morph in a sense that you're going to have a personal cloud, because people think the cloud is safe. Is now 100% safe, because there is there might be a single point of failure when it comes to one person within an organization. Somebody can social engineer you. When you are when a socially engineered, what happens is that they will exploit that vulnerability. They will get your username and password, then they will escalate privilege, wherein they will get your cloud account, and they might deface, or they might bring the application down. So it's also vulnerable. But you can also harden, that is, to protect the endpoints within the cloud. The cloud computing is nothing more than renting a computer space or a computing power to do your work.
awesome, awesome. This is good knowledge. So, Mr. Clark, somebody may be listening to you right now. It's like, what? I love what Mr. Clark is saying. I want to enter into that space. How can they enter into cybersecurity?
Cybersecurity is a continuum. It's the buzzword now, and the job prospect is all the way till 2045 when I last checked. So you can start now. You might be in the space and retire, but you need to gain knowledge. You need to go through training. You need to go through hands-on learning, and in order to be really good in cybersecurity, you have to read, read, and read. That's what I tell anybody, because I've been in academia for well over 20 years. But the problem here is, one time at one of my, I mean, the college, let me just, one of those colleges I taught before leaving, scaling down at Foresight Tech, was to focus on empowering people, training people, especially training people like myself, because Black people are minority when it comes to in the minority when it comes to technology, or DevOps application, or cybersecurity. That have the reason I scaled back on teaching full time or getting involved with the college full time was to train my own kind, to make sure they can get in this space and start. But it requires training, it requires certification. You don't have to have a technology background or technology degree to work in cybersecurity. Zero, zip, you need. You just have to come, you train, you do a lot of hands-on, and you do a lot of readings. Differently, the hands-ons are those things that will enable you to get yourself job ready, because of course it's all about doing. Cybersecurity has two areas you can work in. You don't have to work like in both. One is in operations, and the other one is in the technical area. In operations, you can work as a in standard, in policy, in training, in consultancy, without even um, taking advantage or using the technological tools, the security tools, not Nexus or Alien Vault, or you know um, Nexus, and some of those other tools like Kali Linux, because that's what out there. So, or you can work in technical areas where you will use all of those tools as specialists, as cybersecurity engineer, cybersecurity specialist, cybersecurity monitor. Within the cybersecurity space, we have over 20 different job titles. In the area, we train people, we give you an overall training in those areas, but you have to choose which one to work in. But once you are trained, you can work in any of those areas, either in operations or in the technical area, to be the one doing the security scanning, the vulnerability management, the training, and all of those other things that enable an organization to do great, to be secure.
Awesome, awesome. I want to go into training, but before to go into that, I want to agree with you on something. Just in my department, what you said. There are a lot of people, a lot of smaller, teams there that doing different things. So you have people that's not really technical, like they're doing their privacy, they're doing compliance, they're doing risk things like that. And you got a technical folk that doing pen testing, network security,
Hmm.
artificial intelligence, threat, insider threat. Oh,
Hmm.
I can't even name it. There's just so many teams. But to your point, yes. So there's just a lot of departments, or there's some of them I don't even know until I start working with them on projects. They're like, wow, how many teams in the one department? But Mr. Clark, you talk about training, and it's a big thing. People want to know how to get into a space. I know you mentioned so many times that you've been in academia, doing this for a long time, but you have your own training that you've dedicated people to doing this. I've shared the poster, but I want you to explain the poster to us. Tell us more about this whole program, what to expect, and stuff like that. For someone who will watch now or later, we have people watching now and later. Just tell us about your training path.
Yes, knowing that this is the boss word I have, the background I have,
Let me. Why not?
technology, hands-on. When it comes to the hands-on, I have been there. I have worked in different corporations. From Merrill Lynch, I used to be a data analyst there. I have worked as an engineer for Time Warner. For Ralph Lauren, I was also there. And but with this training, what happens is that is oh, you have the 10 weeks. Um, this is for the summer. Is It started in May, on the 13th of May, and it's going to end in August. But we train people to we prepare them to pass the CompTIA Security Plus certification and prepare them for uh, Amazon Web Services specialty security specialty uh, program. But within the training, within this program, we encourage students to come irrespective of their career background, their past. They don't have to have any kind of technology background. Once they know how to turn on a computer, we can transform them into uh, a cyber security expert, either working in governance, risks, and compliance, or working in the area of the technical area of vulnerability management, penetration testing, or other things. So, but when you come, I always told students to come with three things in mind: commitment, discipline, and sacrifice. Because if you come and you know intend on getting this certification that will enable you to start working, because the Contact Security Plus certification is almost equivalent to 2 years on the job experience. So because we put for the training, 60% of our training is geared toward the hands-on, a lot of hands-on, a lot of labs, because we give you the tools that the hackers are using. But our disclaimer here is you don't use these tools to commit crime, because you will be able to get into somebody's email, somebody's computer, to lock somebody out of their Facebook account, their Instagram account, even go into that bank account. But after we gave you these tools to know, we also teach you something we call countermeasure to protect your system, your application, and your network against these attacks. So the same tools the hackers are using to launch a ransomware attack, to do data breach, to exfiltrate data from your secure server environment, we give you all of those tools, plus the countermeasure, how to protect it, how to harden your endpoints.
Awesome, awesome. So, still in the training. So I go to this training. What next?
You go to the training is the summer training. This one, the I think 10 weeks or 12 is actually 12 weeks, 5 days a week. You finish. We uh, prepare you to sit the CompTIA Security Plus certification. You will pass from the preparation. All of my students, once they take the test, they pass normally they pass the Security Plus test. From there, once you get your certification as Security Plus certified, then we come and we write your resume. We redo your resume. We post a resume. If you are in the US, on all the job boards. If you are in Africa and Asia or Europe, we also put it. They have other job boards there. We post it there so you can get a remote job working from home. That's the beauty of it. You work from home instead of going to the office. You work from the comfort of your home. Once you have a computer, normally the company that hires you will provide you the computer and the technology to enable you to work. From there, once we post it, we post your resume there, then we do the interview prep. We prepare you to, we do a mock interview. There's a whole course. Right now, as for you, Miss Cole, when I asked you if you went to you came to an interview, I asked you, okay, oh, I like your resume. I think you are fit for this job. How much are you asking? How much do you want us to pay you? What will you say?
Yeah, and some people don't even know what even the market rate they don't even know the market rate for the role they're applying for. So
Yes.
sometimes,
Yeah. So
doing that research.
normally the
Yeah,
students, they are excited. Oh, I need. I
yeah,
think I'm looking for
they'll go
$140,000.
yeah,
Looking for 100,000 or $95,000.
I said
You
150.
150. If you go too high, you're going to. I mean, X yourself out of this job. If you go too low, you undersell yourself.
Right.
Yeah. So normally, when we are preparing students for this kind of interview, not only that I have been, an advisor, academic advisor, career coach to people. I tell them, look, like our cybersecurity students would tell. Normally, I would tell them, look, when you go with that kind of question, tell them, look, what is the job? What is the benefit package you have with this job? Some of the people that are asking you to give them number, they don't even have an idea on the benefit package. So if they don't know the benefit package, you say, "Oh, I see it." But according to the industry rate, this position like this pays between this. You give them a range. You don't tell them how much you want. When you tell somebody how much you want, then you're going to place yourself far out of the reach of the job. So that's what we do. We prep you, we train you, you pass the test, we prep, we redo your resume, do the training, and make sure we put your resume on all of those job boards, the job site. Instead of you going to apply for the job, once we set up the job agents, the jobs will come to you. But we have this a strategy we call the 30-30 strategy, wherein within after you're done, you have your resume, you have your certification, then within 30 days you will land a job, because we tell you you have to post every day. You post, you response you respond to, rather you respond to 30 jobs that come to you. So sometimes with a job agent, you get about 100 jobs. You look through it, instead of you answering to all of them, we just tell you, just answer to 30 jobs every day. Within the next 30 days, you will have a job. You will get interviews and you will land a job. That's the secret, the 30-30 approach.
That's
I
awesome.
just give you guys a tip that I'm not going to be
I
paid
know.
for.
When I used to look for a job, I used to do 10 a day. You say you're 30, so I need to pump up my game.
Yes,
If I ever looking, I'm not looking
yes.
now, but in the future.
The more the merrier. The more you increase your odds of landing a job.
Thank you, Mr. Clark,
Yeah.
Dr. Clark. I really appreciate the tip. I'm sure the
No.
viewers too. But still on your training, seem very rich. But let's talk about, is it online? Is it hybrid? Do I have to be in your state?
Yeah, yeah, it's online. I have people from Japan. I have the current class. I have somebody from Liberia. We have two sessions. We have one from 12 to 2 o'clock, 2 hours. We have another one from 8 to 10 o'clock. So you can decide to attend any of it is really flexible, and it's on Zoom, so it's virtual, but the labs are all led by me and other people. So they will do step by step. They take you through the lab. The recordings for all the lecture, we do labs, then we do tests. Sometimes we meet 4 days, 4 to 5 days a week. You will be um, like 10 hours, almost 10 hours a week, depending on how we structure it. We have 6 week, we have six, then we'll break it down to four, where we meet 4 days, and later on we come down to 3 days. But it's really engaging. The labs are fun. You network, you meet a lot of people. We have study groups that we create. We have lab groups that we create, but the hands-on, it's amazing. You will come there blind, but by the time you leave, you will you'll be like, oh my God, I didn't know I could learn so much, because these labs are giving you can practice it over and over and over. But do not use these tools, these software, these applications that we are giving you. We don't want you using them for ill purposes, for illegal purposes. Don't do it to steal people information, identity, to lock somebody out of their Facebook account, their bank account, or whatever it is. You right now, the other time I scanned the entire network in Liberia, I was able to discover only 331 computers in the entire country that were internet facing, that were on the internet. Beside what Lone Star and or MTN and Orange, what they do, they give you internet access, but there's a little buffer.
Hmm.
But in Liberia, the network there is very much porous, is very much vulnerable. They don't have security on the network in Liberia.
So stay
So
on the training. Somebody's listening. They say, I want to do that training. Is it free? Is there money tied to it? Tell us more.
yes, it costs right now. Typical training that I do, some of the academic institute like my college, it, it would take you about 2.5 years to get associate degree in cybersecurity, or maybe 4 years, 4.5+ years to get a bachelor degree in cybersecurity. But I cut that one short because, look, I have been in academia for a while. To tell you the truth, I raised this concern one time when I was part of the academic advisory commission, where we look at the courses that are being offered by the institution. We realign it to industry's need. But the truth be told is that after you enter a university or a college, within 4 years with technology changes every 6 years. By the time you get done with the courses, everything you're learning, everything is old.
Mhm.
Everything is old. It's archaic. It's obsolete. You don't even need it. So my question was then to them was, why can't we change the approach at which we expedite this process and give the student a problem or solution based kind of like training to prepare them for the job market, instead of giving them degree, you know. But they say, well, we can't do that because we are here to grant students degree instead of just making them job ready. Some of them might not be job ready. They are still in the confines of their training. But back to this training, you ask, there's a cost to it. Some private institutions, they will ask for, maybe they will be normally like 15,000, 8,000, 10,000, but mine is way below, because my whole hope is to empower my people, Liberians, to make it affordable for them. At least when you graduate, I want you to start living instead of surviving, because now it's the time for us to live instead of survive. When you ask your fellow Liberian, oh man, how you doing, how is it, or even African, the first thing they would say, oh man, we're surviving, we're hanging in there,
Thank
we
you,
need to
Phil. I
stand in there,
tried to.
are trying. But with this, cybersecurity is a low hanging fruit. It's almost like the great equalizer. You don't have to have technical degree, but you can come in this space and make a lot of money. When you give yourself 5 or 10 years, you will make over, I don't know, $1 million just working in that area, making six figure. You start 130, maybe 140, um, over, or 150, over 5 or 8, 10 years period, you would have made $1 million+ just without having a college degree. You do not need a college degree to break into cybersecurity. One of my students, Patrick, is a Nigerian. He sent me this beautiful picture of his house he built in his village, 9 bedrooms. I'm
Wow.
like, this is a mansion. He has 2 jobs. I think he made $345,000. Sitting home, he doesn't have to leave. Two cybersecurity jobs. He has one is in cloud security, and the other one is just vulnerability. Monitoring. He looks at computer screen all day to see if he will see alert.
I got a couple of friends in there, and it's so easy for them to be playing all day.
Mm-mm.
But I was trying to right. Oh, Mr. Clark, but thank you for sharing. So, the place where we live in America, yeah, it's all about bring we let payment plan business. There are payment plan. Oh, it's
Yes,
a case by case basis.
it's case by case. We have to look at your financial situation. But we started doing that. We're at Clark Publishing, my company, Clark Publishing. We do publishing, then we do training. We got so many corporate trainings and personal trainings that we do, coaching and other things that we do. But we do work with our students. We know it's tough,
Mm-hmm.
but when we say you have to demonstrate a certain financial need, everybody has a need. So we realize that no, we're not going to do that because most Africans, most black people, they broke already. So he said that they will, but some of them come, they just pay upfront. But yes, we do work with you. We have payment plan. We can work with you and just make sure. But the whole idea, before coming, you have to be ready for the program. Some people come, they will pay the money and like, wow, I didn't know that I had to do all the labs. I thought I was just coming to just read and just I didn't know I had to do hands. Can you just give me, they would say, can you just give me the test, everything so I can prepare and pass the test? Like, yes. Some students have done that. They get the material to pass, but they don't have the hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
And they will come back to do the hands-on. But I can guarantee you 99.99% we do the exam prep. We prepare you for the Security Plus certification. When you sit the Security Plus certification, you will pass because of what we put into you.
And
Yeah,
Mr.
of
Clark,
course.
I really want to add to that. Having a coach like somebody your subject matter expert is really helpful. I did that Security Plus probably 2 or 3 years ago. It is a beast, So having a coach to just walk alongside with you and just help you when you stumble, especially those labs, those things are tough. So
Hmm.
so I would encourage you. Sometimes we like to think that oh, I'm gonna pay this amount for this, but it's worth that certain investment is just worth the investment, and which is investing in your own education.
Yeah, you're investing in
But
yourself.
yes.
That's what we do. Some of us came here, I have gotten so much. I got Oracle, I got Microsoft, I got project management. I may have gotten, I have CompTIA C plus plus, C, like technical training certification and all of those things. But you have to, this thing you're doing, it could be a retirement. You can go to library and work. Once you have internet access, you can connect with your VPN and work from anywhere in the world. All you have to do, you connect with the home office and just monitor, do your work. Your bosses are not monitoring you. They gave you a piece of assignment. All you have to do is resolve the problem, give it to the other group. They will take care of it. I mean, to tell you the truth, in cybersecurity, you 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 can you the actual work you would do per day is between 3 to 4 hours. The other day
Mhm.
you just go,
They're
you
talking.
just yeah, you just messing around. You
Making
just
a party. They're talking for free.
exactly. And
Seriously.
it's yes, it's a serious
Yeah.
chill job.
Yeah, it is a
So,
chill.
but the implication is real.
Mm-hmm.
Cyber threat is real. The next war, that's why the U.S. cyber security general, the guy, he quit his job. He resigned when he looked at how far the Chinese are. The Chinese are hacking the U.S. The North Koreans are hacking the U.S. The Russians, the Pakistanians, the Syrians, they are in our network. They're in other countries. You know, the guy look at it, he said we are far behind. But in cybersecurity, what we try to maintain is something we call equilibrium. We don't want to be ahead of the threat actors or the hackers, I will refer to them. We want to be side by side with them because we don't want them to be ahead of us. But as it is now, the threat actors are ahead of us because some of the good guys normally they start being good. They will go to a company and work. Sometimes they get upset. They start they become bad. They go and become,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Somebody just upset you. You say, I quit this job. I will make sure your company will go down. They already have insider threat, insider knowledge of the system. It's easy for them to sell their knowledge to somebody who can pay them more money, and they go away. And one cyber threat will can lend somebody like ransomware. They have those script kiddie. You can customize a script, send it to somebody, bring their whole network down or encrypt their data and get paid $10 million in less than a day and call it a day. So it's real, people. And that's why the United States companies all over the world, they are looking for cybersecurity professionals. They're looking for specialists. They're looking for, analysts to make sure that their security postures are in place.
Yeah, yeah. Even when you go on the what is it, USA jobs, I mean there are tons of security jobs there. And just to add to what Mr. Clark is saying, I mean lots of jobs. So that just goes to see how the outlook for cybersecurity. I mean, it looks so good. So if you're not in that space, I would encourage you to join. You know, like I said, Mr. Clark, he's the expert. I'm just entering this space, but sometimes I wonder, like, why was I wasting my time in audit again? I should have been in this space a
No,
long time ago.
I mean,
But it's good. God time is the best.
today, today I looked at the job right at cyberseek.org. I think I saw about 590, I think 73 or 72,000 positions that are currently open in the United States. They cannot find anybody. Worldwide, it's about 2 million jobs that are available in the world. They cannot find the qualified, but I mean, professionals to work in those areas. It doesn't matter where you are. I have students in Japan, Liberia, Europe, Canada, uh, all all around the U.S. They have come. You know, they said there's a philosophy. They said when you know that you don't make noise. So some of us will remain quietly effective
Hmm.
while we empowering our people. For the Liberians, is now is the time for you to come and take advantage of this low hanging fruit. It's now time for you to to stop surviving and to start living the American dream. And for our government, we can also, I'm open. Somebody asked me in the last time, can you train people in Liberia in cybersecurity? Of course, we are open to that. But somebody said, but you got to be careful. Don't give them all the bad tools. They will be hacking people's stuff here. Like, of course, you got to give them everything, but they got to be responsible. We don't have data protection laws in Liberia. We don't have identity theft laws in Liberia. We don't have anything. First, in Liberia, we don't have the infrastructure. We don't have interconnected network. Nothing. Everything is fragmented. But that's fine. But you have to start putting these postures in place while you work on all these other things like regulation, legislation, rules that you know, um, compliance and other things for the country. But Liberia, we are not proactive; we are reactive. When
Hmm.
something happens, if somebody took the entire Lone Star network down, or They are orange down. There is no internet connectivity there, or they go uh, under the ocean and break the entire ACE cable, cut it, which will wind up being the country will being without internet for I don't know how long. Then they will start thinking about putting these rules and regulations and legislation and standards in place for organization in the
Yeah.
country.
I remember one time under Orange or one of those people, they went out and they were out for days.
Hmm.
And I was just like, are you serious? People talking about the downtown to be 4 hours in America or 2 hours, and these people going for days being down.
Yeah, sometimes for companies, when we do the audit or the risk analysis, companies, even with government, with banks, with businesses, when you do the stress test, when you do the risk test, you have something we call risk appetite. How much risk, you in auditing, how much risk an organization can consume, how much you can take, how long do you think you can be out of business without you getting in trouble with your customer without you losing money. So you got to do the entire risk analysis and see, come up with a plan, do stress tests, put all of those postures in place just in case if this happen, we're going to snap back on this and why not.
Mhm, mhm. So graduation around the corner. So somebody may be listening and say, I'm graduating in May with my degree in cybersecurity or cyber defense or related. It's a big field, like you said, it's a playing field.
Mhm.
What job can I start with? Want to enter this space? What is a good starting point for me?
Anything and everything, especially for the high schoolers, for those 18 and 20 years. Can you imagine an 18-year-old making $140,000 more than his father or his mother?
Hmm.
18-year-old. I remember when I started making um, that money out of college. I was working when I came to the US. I was working at a gas station pumping gas. I think it was one of the best jobs I ever in New Jersey
Mm,
that I ever had. When I look, after I couldn't go to medical school, then I started with technology. After I graduated, when I transferred to the 4 year college, my first job with the state, I was at a gas station. I was making $16,000 a year. Back then, it was $5.25. You look at me. I mean, for me, I had come from Liberia. I'm like, oh, that's a lot of money. Can you imagine? Man, just imagine 525. When
mm,
I graduated with an associate degree, I had two associate degrees, one in project management, the other one in computer programming. Then my my salary went up when I got a job with the state. From 16,000, it went to 48,000. I'm like, wow, what? That's I'm gonna get more another degree. When I got a bachelor degree, it went up. I said I'm getting a master's. so,
it can
so
only
much.
get better.
Yes, because the more the merrier. So
Right.
just imagine this kid would be coming out, but you know, then what I started doing, I started buying cars because I had so much money.
Oh, what are you right? Let me buy the gadgets.
Yes, I started buying cars. I started going places. I'm like, but as these young people start to um, move to the workspace now, college is not for everybody. I have come to realize that we got to stop selling college to our students because we want them to live our dreams. Sometimes we have to allow our students or our children to to choose their own path. And if they have to make mistakes, we need to step back and allow them to make mistakes, hurtful one too. That's the only way they will grow. If we protect them or overprotect them, we'll harm them. So we don't want to do that. They have to grow because soon we're going to pass the word over to them. And if they don't know what to do, they will not be functional and productive. So we need to start teaching our kids financial literacy. That's why I never had.
Mhm. Mhm.
When I started making money, I never had a financial literacy. I would go and buy things I had no business buying instead of investing, instead of allowing my money to work for me. Financial literacy is not within the African community because everybody is hustling, everybody is surviving instead of living. Because, like my daughter, I told her, you don't use money because you have it, only use money because you have to, you know. And with that notion, we will be frugal, we will be very economical and very smart, financially smart with the minimum fund. You cannot be taking you cannot be biting more than you can chew. This guy made a comment one time. I look at him that it makes a perfect sense. He said, "Us black people, you see some black female, it's not you, with a $5,000 Louis Vuitton bag, but she might have just $20 in it." He said, "I'd rather have a plastic bag with 5,000 than having a Louis Vuitton bag with $5,000 in it, because while you want to I mean, show off, exude certain image of yourself that you are not, but you are not winning, you are losing. Louis Vuitton is winning. Um, all the Coco Chanel, they are all winning, whereas you are still there hustling, staying to the same place, running, but you are running in place. So it's very much
I
important.
like that, running in, but running in place.
Yeah.
I like that. Mr. Clark, something you said about the children, and allowing them to make the mistakes and let them grow and learn from it. And I think I'm guilty of that. I'm that kind of parent, where I don't want my children to make my mistakes. So when I see them going that path, thank God they're on the, they're moving the right direction. But
Mm.
if when I see them going that path, like, come on this side, because that fire that I walk through, I don't want you to walk through it. So the
Mhm.
point I'm making there is there will be some of these kids that, not my kids, they are to college, but they're in college undecided. Some of them their first semester, some of their first year, some of them their third year, can't figure out the career. And then you, as a parent, be it you or me, telling them, look, get into cybersecurity, you won't regret it. Or get into, I would say, health or whatever. Get into any one of these two. For me, that's always been my speech. Get into cyber or get into health. You will
Mhm.
not get short. So what, I mean, as a parent, how can you encourage your child that's just wobbling all over the place? What can you say to that?
You have to get that person in a mentorship program, because you cannot become what you don't see.
Mhm.
You positivity is really good. You gotta the environment. Nurture versus nature. They're two the versions of outcome. So, um, but you have to let the children sit them down, get them through a mentorship program, get them to somebody who is not you. A parent, we do a very bad job as to telling our children what is right for them,
Mhm.
and we don't see what they see, you
Mhm.
know. But if you would tell your child the same thing over and over, but if they heard it from another person,
Mhm.
it makes sense,
Mhm.
because you are just a little violin. You play the same thing over and over. There are kids that have come to me when I was doing advisement at the college. When I tell them something, it makes sense to them. One of the parents, she jumped and slapped it. I told you the same thing. Why? What is he saying different? He said, "Ma, it's not what you say, but it's how you say it." Yeah. So it's like there was this story. This father told me one time. He said he was on. There was on the plane. This lady, she went and sat in first class. She refused to leave first class. So they asked the pilot to come intervene. The plane was supposed to take off. So he went and whispered something in the lady's ear. The lady ran back to first class in the back of the plane. They asked him, "What you told her?" This lady, he said, "I told her this side of the plane was not going to land in Tennessee. The bag was going to land in Tennessee. So if she wanted to go to Tennessee, she needed to go there." She said, "Oh wow, I'm saying the wrong seat." So she went. It's not what you said. But these kids, they need direction.
Mhm.
they need magnitude, they need to be sure, because that this one, for them is popularism. What is popular? Their friends would tell them this: "Oh, I want to do sports medicine," but sometimes you sit with them, you guys do the research. You would tell them, "Look," you show them the job outlook. You go to the labor department, you go to the word job outlook for a particular thing. Some of them technology is not their thing.
Right.
No, some of them they don't belong in college.
Right.
I have had students, they have changed, they will change major. The band is the same. The little community college I was a full time at. They have been there 3 years. I call it major. I mean, the major hopping. Somebody would come after this major, they would hop to another major. They say,
Right.
"Oh no,
Right.
I don't." It's all part of it. But you got to do the research, communicate without forcing them, show them the data, show them the pros and cons of this and that, what they want to do, and you sit back and allow them to make their choose their path. If it means that they will be left with the bills to pay, it's up to them.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. I like that. So, stay on the job. Let's talk a little bit about the job. And sometimes people think they just need the technical skills. What other skills do you need to survive in the cyberspace?
You need soft skill. You need people skills. Yeah, you need a lot of soft skill. You need, because, as I said, in cybersecurity, it's all about research, reading, reading, and reading. You have to be on top of your game because the threat evolve. Criminals, they always sharpen their tool. When you stop them in this other area, they will have to look for another way. You know, so if you say, okay, port 80 on an HTTP port, it has to be closed, but behind it we have um, RDS and IPS, which is intrusion protection or intrusion detection system. That's a software that monitors that port with a firewall. But they will say, okay, we bypass the firewall by social engineering somebody and getting their username and password and escalating our privilege to create a backdoor where we can go in and out without the firewall stopping, or we do it because we know we can go through port 80. Now, how do you, as a cybersecurity guy, stop that particular thing? You have to go and do threat hunting to get something we call digital breadcrumb that these guys will leave behind. So there are a lot of other things that you have to consider in this space.
So, when we talk about soft skills, some are here in post it, oh, Mr. Dr. Clark speaking here, big industry words.
Oh,
So, give us some of the soft skills that's needed in this space.
communication, yes. Your ability to accept criticism, how personable you are. Can you propound new ideas? Can you, when you guys go to meeting, can you make good suggestions? How effective are you in communicating, coming coming up with new ways, process innovation instead of product innovation? Can we change the way we do things? These are the things that employers are looking for. Just not just coming to do your work, but how can we change process? How personal are you? How effective can you communicate? How um are you on top of your game, or you just some of those guys? They have people like that. They don't care. Once they have a job, they want to do their job. They want to meet expectation during employee evaluation time. They don't care about going above and beyond. So those are some soft skills you can think about, and just here I am. I'm part of the team, but I can do this and that. How useful are you? How are you going to impact our bottom line, especially when it comes to our security? Are you going to bring a new way for us to do it, or you just one of those guys that will come and work and don't, we can rely on you. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. Mr. Clark, I just want to, just from a personal experience too, just to add one or two, just teamwork. It's very huge. You work your own team. You work with people from all. If some of them been there so long, stuck in their ways, and then you interface with a lot of other teams.
Hmm.
But just find that balance. Some people with attitude, just that tolerance. So
Yeah.
it really takes, like you said,
Communication is the key because in technology you have to understand highly skilled people, those techies, they don't like to communicate, especially the millennial generation. They want to do their work and they don't want to be bothered.
yeah,
When
quick
somebody is really
response.
in technology
Mm,
is I mean, techie don't they don't like people.
mhm,
It's
mhm,
it's in isolation. They like to work in isolation, especially when you know it, because they just feel that they are the thing.
mhm.
They have arrived. They don't want to share knowledge. So building team, working with other people to transfer technology.
Yeah, when you talk about the techies, we have some of them in our workspace. And most of the time they got it that were pointing, and when you said techie, they got their earbuds on, but still finding a way to talk to them and say, hey, I can go knocking to them because they got an earpiece on and you just go like, hey, you have
They
a
don't
minute?
want to be disturbed, especially
Yeah.
when I started out like that. That's how I want to be. I was at Merrill Lynch. You gave me some because I was a data analyst. You gave me this, maybe uh, um, 30 portfolio. I have to run the rep code for those line items and come because those are stocks. When they trade it, some of them would be about 4 billion shares. So I have to look for when people trade the what they call, I mean, this buy, the sell, the buy, the data gets corrupted. I have to find out some of the data used to be half for a penny, and half a half a penny is a lot. So everybody you see there, everybody wearing. You don't want to be bothered by nobody. That's why in the tech areas we want to go there, do our job, and forget. We listen in on our music. That's it,
Mhm.
and we just want to be left alone, and that's not people's skill. That's not the soft skill companies want. Right now with my current company, we're supposed to be launching a platform. We've been recruiting, so we ask people what kind of soft skill to come with. Some of the employees, they don't know what soft skill is. So one of the guys is an Indian guy. He's so brutal. He When he interviews, he was telling me today he's our VP in India. He said all those people that are on the team, we need to fire them. And
Yeah,
I
soft
said,
skill.
why? Yeah, he said they're not going to be productive. I'm like, oh God. And few of them, a lot of them are Liberians too. I'm just
Mhm,
trying to bring them to empower them. We're
mhm.
supposed to be launching this. The pet mobile platform called Cali's Diary is pet mobile social network platform that connects pet owners with other pet owners around the world based on pet breed. It's
Okay.
called the Facebook for pet and pet owners.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
I mean, yeah, you're right.
soft skill, that's really huge. And Mr. Clark, as you're talking about that, I started to think about ethics and privacy in the space. You how to see things and close your mouth. Something that's a challenge for us. And how it's important because you see a lot. At work you do a lot of tools. You have a lot of confidential information, company information that you're exposed to. But
Mm-hmm.
how to see those things and close your eye and just close your mouth. That's
Exactly.
in my opinion. I think that's a skill by itself. So something to work on. But we've been talking about career and the job, and I want us to talk on self protection or personal protection. A lot of times we see on the internet people say my Facebook was hacked, my WhatsApp was hacked. What can we do to prevent those things from happening?
It's I mean, it's almost impossible for you to protect yourself if you are not paying attention. We have to be very attentive because the threat actors, they are smart. We have this hands-on we do in our class where we call it credential harvesting.
Mm-hmm.
We use a software called Harvest. What we do is you go and program you program a page that looks like somebody's Facebook page. You get a person's email address or their phone number, you can send it to them and say, oh, somebody was attempting to log into your Facebook. It looks like it comes from Facebook or your bank account. Any organization, any um, institution you want to social engineer the person, you can just go and take a snapshot or the homepage of that, the login page, and you create it, send the person the link. It almost like it comes from them when they will go there, click it, and try to log in, put their password, the username, and the system will tell them to change the password. It goes into another database. So it's almost impossible when you do it, you get locked out, or somebody they have something like spyware on your computer.
Mm-hmm.
They watching you. They go into your account. They lock you up. But what you need to do is every 90 days you change your password. You change your password. You run malware scan, spyware scan on your computer every month. Virus scan on your computer. You do a whole 9 yard, a whole scan, then decide changing your password every 90 days. I think I did a vulnerability assessment on your email address, right? I found that email address was breached, was hacked several times, and you didn't even know that somebody reads your email. I mean, I can, for me, I could easily do it, get into your email and read the content, and I will read it and I will change it back to unread. You wouldn't know
Right, right.
yes, so it's easy. Make sure you change your password every time.
Good night.
And once a month, the first Tuesday of every month, you need to install, update your Windows. If you are using a Windows machine, Microsoft sends out updates and
Mm-hmm.
patches for its applications and operating system the first Tuesday of every month. Make sure you install it and restart your computer every week. It can be there, but every week just restart your computer. The first Tuesday of every month, make sure you install the update and restart your computer. But make sure, and when you are going to any website, make sure you see the lock and the key in the upper right hand, or the HTTP should have S there, not X but S. It
Mm-hmm.
should be HTTPS colon forward slash www dot whatever.com or example.com. You should always have an X there. That's the way. But pay attention. Look for the lock. Make sure you change your password. Make sure you apply the patches, install it. Make sure that you don't click on any link that you don't know. That when in your email, do not click on link that you don't know the sender for. Even if you know the sender, maybe somebody has already compromised their system and they're trying to install malware on your computer. Do not click on link. If you have to click on link, you will have to copy that link and go to ipabusedb.com. That's one of our resources. That's one of the places we can go, and I tell my students to go and just put the link they want to click on. It will tell you if this link is from a threat actor or it's a genuine link. It will open
IP.
it. Abuse DB, ipabusedb.com. So and you can use that link for file to download stuff and to do a lot. I mean, to upload file that you receive without opening it.
Okay. Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Talking about password. Somebody been listening and said, you know what? I just want to use my child birthday or my birthday. It's easy. Help them understand. What?
Yes, but it's one of the easiest, and we have something we call dictionary hacking, wherein dictionary cracking we can do. Uh, we can use birthdays are very much easy to crack. The most of the places I go, when I go to a librarian's home, when I want to get on the network, I always look for, when I see the network, some of them will have Liberia. I know the password is LIB 123 or Monrovia at Liberia 1847. Most of the places when I go, I easily discover the password. I don't even tell them. I say, "Oh, thank you for the internet." They say, "How do you?" I say, "The password is 1847." Or Liberia 1847, LIB 1847. I have full password that I use. So you got to be vigilant when it comes to that.
But
So
I know you talk about protecting the computer, protecting yourself on the computer, but we do everything on our phone. So how can we protect ourselves, our WhatsApp, our Facebook, everything on our phone?
it's the same thing for your WhatsApp, for your phone. Often, sometimes you need to upload these applications. Once in a while, you download a new version and install it. The new versions will come with better security. Every 6 months you need to upload a Facebook and reinstall Facebook. It doesn't mean that your access will be denied if it's on your phone, but you just upload it, restart, make sure you have all the patches on your phone. If it's iPhone or Android, make sure that you have the updated version of the system update. They're there. You once in a while you offload, you delete. Offload mean you delete the Facebook from your phone. You go back to the App Store or the Play Store. You download a new version, install it. It's not going to hurt. Every now and then, and make sure when you go to New York City, you're in Atlanta, you in Houston, or wherever it is you are, San Francisco, some of those big cities. You when you're in public, you switch your phone off because people will pass by you and clone your entire phone. They will get your Apple ID and everything, and they will clone your phone, make copy of your phone. They will make a copy of your phone, and they will use that to shop, just like you are shopping. And you know that is that. So you got to be careful. Or you buy something we call Faraday bag, Faraday, and put your phone in it. And when you put your phone in a Faraday bag, it will stop
The
the
tipping.
signal from going out. It locks the EMI, kind of like it creates something called electromagnetic interference, where it stops the device that is used to clone your phone, to clone your car. All those little cars, you don't if you don't have to take it with you when you go somewhere, don't take it with you, because people easily clone those cars. The frequency, the encryption key on those frequencies, they are very small, they are very light. Somebody can break into it. And in my training, I teach people on all of those measures to take to protect themselves, and how to even break into the encryption from on the phone, on your credit card, to create a clone. We can even easily create clones credit card. They have these machines that you program, these Raspberry Pi and other machines you can program to do serious work. But there are other measures in place. Even your key fob you can use. They have these guys they go around with certain device, they steal your signal, and they can start your car. Some of them, all they have to do, when you're in the parking lot, when they pass by you, somebody will be there. They will steal the signal from your car, from your key. Then another person will open your key, and they will pass the signal to them, and they will steal your car. It doesn't matter the car, so they already have it.
So true. So that's a big push for multi-factor authenticator.
Hmm.
Um, you educate my audience about that, and how beneficial it is to
Uh,
them.
Yeah, 2FA, two factor or MFA, multi factor authentication or authenticator, is the process of having a third party to validate, verify, and authenticate your identity as a user of an application, of a system, or something that you're trying to gain access to. So normally when we are, because of all these hackings, all these threat actors that are perpetrating the data breaches and other things around here, because of them, these third party, these security postures are being put in place, where um, companies are now asking people to verify their identity more than once. But in cybersecurity, we normally tell, especially when I lecture, when I train, I tell you, or when I go do training for companies, or do the corporate training, I tell the people that security and convenience are inversely proportional. By that, what is the inverse of proportionality? The more secure a system is, the less comfort the user will experience. The less comfort a system is, the more comfort the user will experience. So that's the inverse of proportionality. So when security goes up, comfort will come down. When comfort goes up, security will come down. So it like this, either up and down is inversely proportional. So now with the two multi-factor authentication, I don't like it, but that's what security is. So they will have to send, either when you put in your username and password, maybe accessing it in two location. I have another phone here. I have two phones. I have this one and I have another one. Two cell phones. Why do I need two cell phones? But because I do security, I have to have them. One is just for authentication. So, but it is the best way to keep your system secure. People don't like that. Sometimes you are out, they will send it to something else, or maybe the voice. They have to call another phone. It's just unbearable. It's inconvenient, but that's the best way. You keep yourself safe, you keep your data secure, to maintain integrity and to make it private.
Awesome, awesome. Well, you've taught us a lot today, but we can't go into taking phone calls or the next segment until we talk about Liberia. We have to tie all of this. I know you kind of talk about it. You've been in and out of Liberia. Is Liberia ready for cybersecurity?
Liberia needs to start preparing, because the next war will not be fought with guns and bombs. It's going to be fought in cyberspace. Even America is preparing itself. Other countries are preparing themselves. During the elections in Liberia, there were some. I've seen floor attack on the election. The company that is hosting that is hosting the NEC's web server. They were trying to probe it to see. Some of my students came to me, "Oh, professor, the website, what happened?" I said, "Just leave them. They will read. It will be okay." It was overwhelmed, and there were several, fake requests being made. We call that sync floor attack. But the good thing about the NEC system in Liberia, it's not internet facing. It's not connected to the internet. That's the beauty of it, unless somebody wants to go in and tamper with it. But Liberia is semi ready and not ready for um, cybersecurity. We don't have the infrastructure now. We don't have a well designed, well laid out, interconnected network that can be exploited. Liberia is still under the radar compared to Ghana and other countries. We just have one pipe going into the country. There is no redundancy.
Wow.
If there is a cyber attack, somebody goes and cut that undersea cable, there will be no internet connection in the entire country.
My goodness.
Okay, maybe Lone Star, I keep calling it Lone Star, MTM, and South Orange. Maybe they will revert back to that old way of using satellite and VSAT to send internet traffic, which will limit the throughput and the bandwidth of what is being used. So that's why um, I and other people, we have been working behind the scene to see if we can land another pipe in the country. We take it from Portugal, it will cost us under $100 million. Our own pipe, Liberia has none. They're renting it from the French company Ace, the Ace Cable. So a country like Nigeria has over 10 different internet submarine cable, because if you look at the world is interconnected with cable running under the oceans,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
Pacific Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. All of those oceans have internet cable wire running that connecting that part of this whole global collection of network, because the internet is nothing but global connection of computer network working together to exchange data with each other. So if with Liberia just with one pipe there, I mean, it's Liberia. We always say, yeah, we do well, but we're supposed to be the vanguard. We're supposed to be the leader, but we're still trying. So a couple of my friends we working together to source find a way that we can carry another pipe in a country that will cost us under maybe 82 million dollars. The last time in 2020 we check it, it was going to cost us $82 million to take it from Portugal back to Liberia. Then it would go. Um, Equinox is there. Google has its own fiber on a submarine cable passing there. But these are companies but we're not yet ready. We're using the internet, but most of the things we are doing, we catching. They have these cache server that just give us um, uh, um, images, contents that have been captured maybe a few minutes ago, a few hours ago. So we use it continuously. But yes, a lot of things are happening. We still in the remote. I mean, just a beginning stage of technology. But we can do better. Liberia will be better.
So other than the pop, what else needs to be done?
Other than the pipe, we need to invest in human resources. Liberians are very smart. The young people, we need to invest in the young people. We need to, um, forget some of those liberal arts education and invest in technical and engineering education. This guy and myself, we another Liberian smart to we're talking about saying if we can create a university that is going to target just technology, science, and engineering. Because if you go to Singapore, they have University of Infrastructure. Look at just that university is just focused on infrastructure. That's it. So we need to do that. We need to look at problem based, solution based education rather than giving the people this whole parochial or a traditional education by before the students are done with and their academic journey. Um, what they learn become obsolete. So those are things we need to start. We need to value cooperation over competition because we are small. Our population is not it's not large. Those that are smart, those that are professional, we need to start coming together to start doing things in Liberia. Let's void ourselves of politics. Everything doesn't have to be on politics. It needs to be based on solution. I mean, that's why Jack Dorsey he said Africa will define the future. That's why a lot of Americans, especially the white, they are buying things in Africa all over. The royal family bought the entire during the administration of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. They bought the entire forest in Liberia, so they could get carbon credit for Liberia. So if Africa would define the future, we need to be in Africa. We need to be in Liberia to be part of that process, part of that revolution, because society has gone through the industrial revolution, came and went. Then we had the information revolution, came and went. This is the third revolution. We're in the social revolution that started back in 2004 with the advent of the social media, social network explosion that has taken the world by storm. We need to be part of it. We need to stop crawling and start walking. We have crawled so long, and we have several professionals here. We need to come together to do that. The government will not do it. That will only happen within the private sector.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. To add to that, I mean, the government already struggling as is, so I don't think they're gonna do it. And even here, most of the, I mean, this, most of the people that really got the tech going, they're private companies that really moving the tech industry here in America. The government
Yeah.
just there, yeah, for the regulatory side of it. But I did a post, and I think I want to add to this. I said that the government. I know that was a far. I was casting a net in the dark, but I said the government need to establish a department of information resource, just a ministry just set for just information and technology, just for that. I know it probably would be dead and gone, but seriously, they need to focus on information technology. And I'm glad you said that, Mr. Clark, because even here in Texas, where I am, for many years now, I used to volunteer with I still do anyway, a department of information resource in the disaster recovery,
Hmm.
and stuff. So I think
Yeah, but
they going to tap a few things. Go ahead, Mr. Clark.
yeah, but I mean Liberia, because the system is not. We don't have anything. We still using 18 and it's an 18th century approach to solving 21st century problems. We haven't really developed to the point that we're not sophisticated. You have a illiteracy rate that is higher than the literacy rate. We have most of the young men, instead of going to do certain training, most of the young men are riding pen pen. I mean, the women, I give credit to a lot of them. The young women in Liberia, they are there. They're trying to get education, but the quality is not as good as, I don't want to say great, but they are still trying. We have this whole mentality, yeah, Liberia try. We have to stop trying and step up our game.
I
So now, the government needs to really come up with some legislation, because everybody is doing his or her own thing. The Ministry of, I mean, National Social Security have their own database. Ministry of Finance has their own database. I mean, their own data center. Social
Right.
Security has a data center. Thank you for asking that question, Ms. Cole. How do we prepare for cyber security incidents, or how do we protect ourselves against cyber attacks? The common steps I normally tell people to take is change your password to your email, to your social media um, platforms and applications that you are using. Change those passwords every 90 days. That's every 3 months. Make sure you make the password length longer whenever you go out there to shopping on the internet, to different websites. Make sure the lock is there, and the HTTP portion of the HTTP of the URL has an S, which stands for security. That's SSL, secure circuit layer. You should also, because we don't know where the threat will come from, when it will come, we are just sitting on a time bomb, because right now we are not, those of us that are in cybersecurity, we are not at equilibrium with the threat actors. So I would advise you to do this, to make sure you keep some money in your home, maybe depending on your family size. A family size of four, you need to keep at least $1,000 each for each family member, just for emergency, because we don't know when the banking system will be attacked and the whole system will fall apart. You need to keep bottle of water supply in your home. You need to keep food in your home. Try to prepare yourself for like a doomsday scenario. Keep food in your home. Make sure that the passports are up to date. You have current passport. Make sure that you have a backup generator with gasoline. You don't keep it in the house. You keep it outside of the house in a container, because we don't know when the gas pump, everything will be attacked, because those are critical infrastructure that the threat actors are attacking. The Chinese are doing it to the U.S., the North Koreans, the Russians, the Pakistanians, they are attacking the U.S. Critical infrastructure. The water supply, they are in our SCADA system. A lot of things. Make sure you keep battery in your home. If you cannot afford a generator, you keep solar light in your home to help you. At least you can look for some kind of portable um, cooking ware, or you buy a grill that you can cook on in case you have to cook food. So these are things you need to prepare for to help you prevent something. Make sure you keep money in your home. That's more. It's one of the most important things to do, because the credit card may not work, the banking system might be attacked, flight might not be flying because they might attack the saber system, the airport, the flight control system. There was some glitch that the FAA hasn't really reported what happened when flights were down in the U.S. last year. They are still trying to figure out how it happened, why it happened, and the cause of the attack. So these are things we need to prepare ourselves for. Thank you for the time, and I hope to be on your show again. Bye bye.